G'day and welcome to the Binge Thinker, episode 70-something. My name is Jamil Raymond. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here as always. In spite of me being pretty fucking tired, folks, I'll just be straight up with you. I am on the final finishing stretch of getting Tech Sales OS done. I've committed to getting the final version, or the first version of Tech Sales OS out to the people by the end of this week, and I'm having to refilm different clips and different bits of the course, basically around my top 1% sales process, because I wanted it to not be so rushed and basically give it a good first experience for the customers. Is that when I basically when I taught it to the cohort, I was rushed for time and I couldn't really explain things in detail and give you the sort of long form, the way that I talk to you guys about the just about life, right? I had to be very rushed, so I've had to reshoot those videos, and it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge, and it's exhausting. It really is exhausting to try and talk and present for more than an hour at a time. At the end of those 2-hour teaching sessions that I did, I was fucking exhausted. And even now, today, I've done a couple of hours yesterday, did a couple of hours today of filming these clips, and I fuck up and I start again, and I have to just, get the process right. It really fucking takes it out of you, man. It's exhausting. And then I have to talk to you guys for another hour, which is a lot easier. Don't worry. Don't get me wrong. It is easy to just sit back and talk a little shit with the good people of this podcast. But, oh, man. It's the end. It's the end and the beginning, right? It's the end of the creation process. And then I just have to not accept, but I can just release this thing into the world at the end of this week, and then have something that is ready to show the world. And then I'll probably launch it the week after that. I'm still waiting for the doco and the website to be done. But they're both looking good. I saw the first part of the documentary yesterday after shooting it last week, and I like it. There are parts of the documentary where I do weird shit. Not weird shit, but just little things that I just cringe at so hard. Like me, I do this, I don't know, for some reason, I started to get animated with my eyebrows for some reason. I do this little hey with my eyebrows in a couple of clips, and I'm like, oh, what? Who are you? That's so embarrassing. I don't know why, just some cringy moments. But yeah, man, I'm slogging, but I am very convinced. I know that this is going to pan out great. I can feel it in my fucking soul. I just have to keep going. But yeah, man, I'm so keen to get just this load off my back. No homo. Probably going to be a bit loopy, so I've had to actually write down what I'm actually going to talk about, which I almost never do on this podcast. I just sort of go at the top of the dome, but I thought I'd have a timeline of things, because I know that I'm going to be loopy if I don't follow suit. I mean, what else is going on in my life besides the course creation? I ventured outside once or twice in the last couple of days. Saw Yusuf Day last week. Maybe I talked about that last week, but it's just good to get out and be human again. Last week, I saw my family for the first time in a couple of months, unfortunately. Because Ramadan started, which I didn't even know about. And I don't fast or anything like that, but we have iftars, which is the breaking of the fast. So if you don't know, for the uneducated about Islam, Ramadan is a holy month that's based on the lunar calendar and the Islamic calendar, which is a lunar calendar. There you go. So for the month of Ramadan, from sunrise to sunset, Muslims fast, no food, no water, and we have a nice family feast at the end of the day. Because it's a time for cleansing, and it's a time to show dedication to God and to faith and to connect with family. And the idea behind Ramadan is, keep your thoughts pure, connect with your family, eat good food, reconnect with your connection to God, and show your piety to God, which I think is very nice. Don't get me wrong, and it's fasting from day to now. that fasting is in and people are doing like 3-day water fasts and shit like that, people are starting to realize that like not eating from sunrise till sunset is not that big a deal. But people who aren't in that world are like, whoa, that's crazy. And like the shit thing is now here in the Southern Hemisphere is because Ramadan changes every year by 10 days because Ramadan and the Islamic calendar runs on the lunar calendar as opposed to the Gregorian calendar, which is what the West uses. And there's a 10-day difference between that. So, it gets 10 days sooner every year. So now it's approaching summertime here in the Southern Hemisphere. Like Ramadan's approaching like the longest time of the year because the days are longer. There's daylight savings. So, these poor motherfuckers are not eating. Sometimes, like right now, it's not too bad. It's probably about 7:40, 7:45 at night they're eating. So it's not that big a deal. But when it gets to the peak of summer, like they won't be eating till like fucking, 9:30, which is brutal. But hey, that's just the test of God, huh? So if you're Muslim and you live in the Southern Hemisphere, maybe in a couple of years, maybe you should go to the Northern Hemisphere and, just take it easy on yourself for a month, eh? I wonder if people do that. I wonder if the rich Muslims do that. And they go from the Northern Hemisphere down to the Southern ones because they can afford it for a month. And it's just like, hey, these are your rules, Allah. That's what I presume rich Arabs justify their presence to God with. What else is going on? Oh, man, literally today, on the Monday before this pod comes out, 3 houses up from me is a fucking crack den. Footscray has fallen as shit, man, unfortunately. It's not the gentrification it used to be. And there's a crack den. There's actually like 3 or 4 crack dens on my street, which goes to show, like, hey, this is why the rent is cheap. But there's a fire, literally 4 houses up the road from me whilst I'm recording my videos because it's warm today. It's like 32 degrees outside today. And so I've got the windows and the doors open to get some cool air in and whatnot. And then then I just hear sirens and I'm like, that's not inconspicuous in Footscray to hear sirens. And then I hear more sirens and they interrupt my video, so I have to start again. And I'm like, fuck. And then I hear more sirens and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I start to smell smoke. And I'm like, ooh, something's going on around here. And then the sirens are just hanging around. Like, it's not just like they're just passing by, so they're just hanging around these sirens. I'm like, well, I can't record a video, so let me see what's going on. And yeah, there's been a boarded up crack den, 4 houses up from me. It's a nice older house. Like, I'm sure it was nice a while ago, but whoever owns it, it's fallen to shit, fallen into disrepair, and there's squatters in there. And I'm pretty sure the squatters have like full on taken over because what I've seen is they've boarded up the windows and tried to put locks on the gates and shit. But then I will see people literally just opening the gate or people with bolt cutters, basically, just crackheads, just like, nah, mate, it's fucking out. No, try now. You can't fucking take this from me. That was a pretty good accent. But so, yeah, I see drug deals not getting done, but I see conspicuous characters walking in and out of that house every time I walk past it. And then literally like 3 doors down from that, the house got raided a couple of months ago. And I saw them with the bloody, the doorbuster and the SWAT team thing. And I was like, whoop, something's going down. And then lo and behold, like 2 weeks later, we see that the property's up for sale because it must have been acquired, I don't know, by drug money or some shit. But yeah, one of the crackheads inside this most recent fire, I don't know, either one of the crackheads in there has just been like, well, I can't fucking stay in here, nobody fucking can. Or someone's lit a crack pipe, passed out, and that heated up crack pipes, I don't know, found some dry grass or some concrete, or not concrete, or carpet, and set something alight. So yeah, unfortunately, there's been a small fire, smoke's come through. I feel sorry for the next door neighbors who are this ancient Italian couple. Like this guy, from what I understand, Italians aren't that tall to begin with, but these two look like weathered old puppets. This guy looks like the owner of the house, the old Italian guy, looks like Pinocchio if you left him in an attic for 100 years. That's so mean. He's a nice guy, but this guy, I'm just like, their parents, like their kids must be like, hurry the fuck up and die. Because the property that they're sitting on is huge. Because I can see from my balcony, because I live in a multi-story townhouse, I can see into their yard. And it's the same size plot of land that my townhouse is on. And on my townhouse, there is 7 townhouses in this plot of land. That's how deep it goes back. And these guys, a few doors down, this old Italian couple, have just got some old, like 1960s, 70s style brick house and then a gigantic backyard. So I'm sure this is very a niche Melbourne reference, but this would be like, Wog families in Carlton in the 70s, right? So when the Wogs came in about 50s, 60s, if you're English, by the way, from the UK, and you were getting offended by the term Wog, it's nowhere near as offensive in Australia than it is in the UK, right? So Wog is like for Mediterranean and Middle Eastern people, Greeks, Italians, that sort of stuff. Lebos, they can be Wogs too, yeah. Which is strange. But yes, around the Mediterranean, that's what we call people Wogs. So yeah, when the Wogs came in like the post-war, like 40s and 50s, and they settled into Carlton before it was a fancy, expensive place. Again, they were gentrifying Carlton very likely because they're little migrant families. And then I'm sure now as the city's expanded and Carlton's become a fancy upstate, fancy gentrified area that is for old whites, the children of those migrants must be sitting there waiting for their fucking parents to die so they can cash in, because they would have bought their house in like 1950 for 7 shillings and a fucking donkey, and now it's easily worth a couple of $1 million for the land alone. Right? So that's just like, hurry up, you fucking boomers, and get it done, move! I've got intergeneral wealth to squander. I'm getting loopy. So yeah, fire at the crack den here in Footscray, here in Footscrazy. What do you do? I mean, like I said a couple of weeks ago, I can sense that my time here is coming to an end. I can really sense that here in Melbourne. That's one of the reasons why, even though I had not finished the course, I went out and saw my family on the weekend, because I'm like, I don't have many of these moments left. I don't have many of these moments left. Here in Melbourne, with my friends and family, I don't know necessarily where I'm going to go, but I know I'm just going to be gone soon. And so just got to make the most of this time that I've got left and enjoy these little moments, So yeah, a little melancholy, a little up and a little down. But let's get back into my tech sales career history. We're almost done. We're into the close to the finishing line. We are, where I left you last week is going to Amsterdam, and I won the first Perfect 10 trip. So to pick up where I left off, yes, I've got the idea for Tech Sales Academy. I've revived that idea from Impact Sales Academy, that was the original name of the course, to Tech Sales Academy, and I'm going to start building. And then I get the Perfect 10 trip, I get to go to Amsterdam. And as part of that trip to Amsterdam, I get to meet with the CSAP hub. The CSAPers it's the grad program for Cisco to train university grads and early and career sellers into Cisconians and make them solid sales employees. And then I also get an opportunity to meet with Marcelo, I forget his last name, but he is the vice president of the business that I'm in, the virtual sales business. So he's basically my second biggest boss or third biggest boss. Go to be Chuck, some other person than Marcelo, but he's the head of my business. And he wants to do a one-on-one session to meet with this Perfect 10 initiative people, the people that won, to understand, hey, what are you guys doing in the business? Why are you the best sellers, etc. And because I know this is coming, I'm like, I should pitch this idea to them of the tech sales course, because I can see the massive gaps in their business. And also, like, if these guys think it's worthwhile, then I know that I've got a very viable product in market. Because it's not just a Cisco problem, it's an industry problem. And that's what I've started to realize, right? So it feels fucking ballsy to do it at first, right? Is that I get this meeting and, usually if you're speaking to an exec, it's like, oh yes, fucking, kiss up to them a little bit. And, whatever you say, Mr. Vice President, sir, but I'm not that kind of guy. You want to be respectful, of course, but you got to take your shots. So in the 2 weeks previous to the trip, this is around February because I went in early March. It was this time last year, actually. It was last week. A week last year that I caught up with Marcelo on the 14th of March. Literally in this passing week, 12 months ago, that I caught up with him. I build my pitch deck, the idea. I've got the skeleton, the framework of what the course will be. I'm explaining the pitch as to why of what's wrong, what the challenges that I'm trying to solve in the business. And yeah, I go to Amsterdam, and I've got this idea. I'm speaking with my host manager. I get to meet some of the Europeans and all the Dutch team, and get to connect with them and see what they're up to. And yeah, it comes to this meeting, and Marcelo brings in this guy called Evan, who's this new global head of talent development. So if anyone's going to call the shots on how we develop talent in the business, it's going to be this guy. He's the one that is responsible for that, about understanding what skills and knowledge the sellers need to have to sell more and provide more to the business. Pretty simple stuff. So we have this meeting, and we've got a couple of minutes left. And he said we're having a back and forth conversation about what we should be improving, etc. Getting to know him. Good guy, Marcelo. Really nice guy. Genuine people person. Good quality dude. Can't knock him. Evan, also a great fellow as well, right? Just came from SAP. I think he worked with Marcelo in SAP and sort of balled him across, and he knows how to work the systems, and he's a sharp guy. So in the last dying minutes of the meeting, it's only like a half-hour meeting, I'm like, can I just have 3 minutes of your time before we go and wrap this up? I have something I want to show you. And then I go into this pitch, and I pitch him Tech Sales Academy, and I show here's the problem, and here's the expectations, and what am I trying to build? And they're going, interesting. Yeah, let's keep this conversation going. Let's keep tabs on this, and yeah, we'll get back to you. And we'll have this conversation. And I'm like, great, thank you so much, appreciate it. And then I'm done. I'm set. I've achieved what I needed to achieve in this trip. I went all the way there to get some intel on the CSAPers, and I figured out that they don't know fucking shit either, because they're just being taught product. The good thing is that the manager of these grads in Amsterdam knows he needs to he hammers in reps, and he hammers in a process for his team to follow as far as managing customers and pipeline. So he's a good operator. But again, the introductory information, the base information about what you should be learning as a good tech seller is not being taught in this program. It's just about product. It really is just about product and technology, which no one gives a shit about. In 10 years, no one will care. It'll all be about people skills, because the technology will take care of itself. That is one of the big bets of Tech Sales Academy. So I'm over the moon, because all I need is for them to validate this idea, and because then I know I've got industry interest. So I'm over the moon. I'm like, all right, I've got what I needed to get out of this trip. When I get home, it's time to fucking get it built and start grinding, baby. And it's time to get to work. So then around that time, I invest in a course creation mastermind, because I don't know how to build a course, and I don't know how digital marketing works, and I don't understand how to use ads to create a digital web funnel and sales funnel. So I have to start learning these skills. So I invest, I think, somewhere around $15,000 for this mastermind for 12 months and this course to teach you how to build a course. And they say 30 days, but realistically, that's just the name of the course of 30 days. But I'm still 12 months later building this fucking course. And it's not to say that, they were lying, but just the realities of the content, particularly for a long form course like I'm creating. Like 8 hours of content is a lot for a first course. Most courses are only like 3 or 4 hours. I'm going big on this shit, right? So that's kind of my own fault, but this is the ambition I have. So I'm building, and then so I'm learning. So for a few months there, I'm just learning the fundamentals. Most of the time early on is about building the body of work, which I already had, but I'm sort of honing in. And most of it's learning how to build a funnel and how to build a website. And I would say, unfortunately, that I've spent a few months there. A lot of the work that I did in those initial few months of developing my website and my funnel were kind of useless. I mean, because now, quite in the last few months, I've been told that my website sucks and I need to revamp. And I was like, ouch, but fair enough. I mean, I have pulled like $5,000 using that funnel. So don't get me wrong, but anyway, it's part of the journey to where I am today. Okay, so I made the best decisions I could in the moment that I had the information of. No regrets. But yeah, I've got enough for me to go, okay, I'm a perfect 10 winner. I am a global, I can say that I have I've won a global top performance award now, which is pretty neat. A couple of months later, so I win a second perfect 10. Okay, so I won 2 out of the possible 3 that I could have won for the year, which is pretty fucking sweet. And the reason why I won it is because I sold another big and interesting deal for the business. It was a $1 million data center deal. A heap of server equipment, and then a heap of software that no one had really sold in the business at my level globally. So this was pretty much a world first for my segment. So they were like, whoa, how did you do that? And this is pretty cool. And because they focus so much on software now, the company, Cisco, the fact that I was selling software and not hardware, that's what got me over the line, because I sold a shitload of software in that deal. But then, like for me, again, very similarly, there's no congratulations. It's just my photo up in our internal communications on WebEx to go, hey, you've won. Again, I'm like, did I just win a fucking again? Holy shit. Does that mean it's another trip? Hell yeah. Let's fucking go, baby. And I'm like, 2 global top sales prizes? This is insane, right? And it's still, even by this period of time, it must have been around May, June, right? I had a lot of pipeline, but I did not think I would be getting to Club Cisco. That came late in the mix. My aim was just to get to sales champion, which is to get to 150% of my number, roughly, to get to sales champ. Well, that's what that's what I was aiming for personally, which would have guaranteed me sales champion, which is top 10%. Because I was pissed off that I only made 94% in my first half, the first time I've missed a quota in basically 10 years, I'm like, fuck this. I'm getting my skill back. I'm getting my reputation back. I'm getting my pride back. I'm going to sell like a motherfucker and nail this. I do not like being in this fucking position. So the fact that, I was at this point in time, I had lots of pipeline and I was selling deals at a pretty good clip, and I was sure that I was going to make my number at the very least, but getting to that 150%, I wasn't too sure. Okay. Probably around, just after this announcement that I'd won the perfect 10, which I wouldn't go on the trip until August, just because of the way I didn't want to take the trip whilst I was in premium selling time, because I knew that I needed this time to actually close deals. I wanted to postpone it. Then things started to really heat up. I had a couple of large deals. One was about $1.6 million. Another one was $2 million that I had. And I thought I was going to get both of the deals, to be honest. And I thought I was going to be fucking laughing, but I didn't really know. I was just being hopeful at this point. I lose the $1.6 million deal. It's one of my biggest losses ever. And I remember that was a real kick in the guts. And I was like, ugh. And the $2 million deal did not really seem like it was winnable at the time. It looked like, on paper, it looked like a shit deal. because of the lack of information the customer gave us. And they're like, we just want your best price of this kit. That's it. And I'm like, this is quite a big order. All right, $2 million worth of equipment, American, is a significant, is a shitload of hardware, right? $2 million for the kit is something that you would sell at an enterprise level, not in a mid-market level. So something's a bit amiss here. Regardless, it's a lucrative deal, and me, as an experienced seller, goes, okay, play a straight bat. If this $2 million deal is more than my target for the half. So if I win this, I've basically doubled my target, and I will 100% be part of Sales Champion at the very least. So I lean into this deal because, again, it might smell on paper, doesn't mean it's not real. And I put a lot of effort to get it done. I have to collaborate with people in California. I have to, be up at like 6 a.m. to speak with that team to organize the logistics, to get all the information right, to verify. And, I'm spending hours on the proposal documentation, what we should be recommending to the customer. Just doing my job, what I should be doing to give the customer an informed decision about the decisions they're making, because what they wanted was a little out of date, and there's better ways of doing things. And they were asking for parts that were like, why do you even need this? And that's what I question them. I push back on them. I'm like, we could build you something better, more modern for a cheaper price. How about that? And they're like, no, let's just stick with this. And I'm like, okay, if that's what you want. So, this is around, June, coming into July. July is the end of the financial year for Cisco. And, this deal is developing. I'm hoping it comes in because it's going to absolutely make me. It's going to absolutely make me. And then, lo and behold, sometime in like early July, from what I remember, I get a phone call Friday afternoon from the account manager, and he goes, we got it. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. This is insane. This is huge, right? Because I'm pretty sure my target for the half was only around $1.6 million. And the fact that we got this deal that was worth $2 million, right? Insane. That I've just gotten a deal that's given me 100% of my number and then some. So I'm absolutely ecstatic. I call my manager. He's in India straight away. I'm like, mate, we got the fucking deal. And he's beside himself. No one has won a deal this big in my segment, like, all year. Like, it was one of the biggest deals. It was the biggest deal in WA, where the deal was done. It's the biggest deal in WA history for that segment. Like, it's one of the biggest deals that's done in the entire business for that year, which is crazy. So everyone's over the moon. And then straight away, like, yes, I celebrated. Yes, I was so grateful for it. But again, my stupid, anxious brain that's constantly aiming for more. Within a couple of days, not even, probably like 48 hours after I'm celebrating this win, and we haven't even got the paperwork, I just got the verbal, it's not been locked in yet, the deals have been pushed through. I'm madly scrambling through internal documentation, trying to figure out if I can win Club Cisco, if I can get, it's like Sales Champion's a given, because now I'm on like 250% of my number, and I've still got more deals to close, and I finished the second half on 277% to my number, right? So fucking insane metrics. But I'm just mad scrambling to be like, how do I get to Club? How do I get to Club? How do I make the most of this? Because I want the top 1% now. I want to aim for that. So, I'm scrambling. And, now that I know that I'm very seriously in the hunt for top 1%, the rest of July is just an anxious wreck of me trying to get deals in, trying to figure out if I can get to Club. And between figuring out, trying to frantically get all my deals in for the rest of the year so I can smash my number and get to Club Cisco, which I'd have no idea if I'm going to make or not. But I can tell you now that my anxiety, not that it was anxiety, but I was very, highly strung because I was so keen to get this 1%. And I was like, how do I get this? What can I do? What levers can I pull? Like daily, every single day in July, I was just like, all right, how do I get this 1%? What can I do this 1%? What can I do this get to the 1%? Right? Trying to get every deal that I can done. Deals some drop out. It's not a big deal, whatever, but I'm just like, scrambling. And then that anxious tension on top of me also building, Tech Sales Academy I'm waking up 5 a.m., 5:30 in the morning, so I can do 3 or 4 hours of work. And then I got a full day of trying to close deals and during the day, and then trying to do a little bit more work at night. I'm burning out in July. I'm burning out again. And I can sense it just because of the constant tension that I have. And I get to the end of the financial year, June, let's call it July 30, whatever day it is. And I'm super happy that I've, made my number, finished on 277% for the half. I end up going from 94% in the first half to 182 / I think 183% for the full year. So I've really pulled this back and then some. So I'm really happy about that. My first full year at Cisco, I've got 167% of my number for software. I've dominated the business, right? And I feel good about it to know that my system is working, to know that all the lessons that I've learned from my career as an account executive are working in Cisco, and they are really working in Cisco. Is that okay? I have now verified my theories of my course and what I teach in the course in a different environment just to prove that it works in multiple and to go, it's not just a flash in the pan, it's not just a fluke. And yeah, I'm super happy, but again, just still under this constant tension. I'm like so anxious to get to this top 1% now. Sales champion is a given. I knew that I was going to get top 10%, not a big deal. Look, 10% is fucking good. Don't get me wrong. And you get a free trip to Phuket for a week. So it would have been great, but I know that having top 1% as a badge of honor, for the course. It's for the course. It's to go, I can say that I'm a top 1% seller in one of the biggest tech companies in the world, right? And then that's immediate leverage inside the Cisco ecosystem, which has 20,000 sellers worldwide and close to 200,000 partners and resellers worldwide. So I know that having this as a shining beacon is, significant leverage, and I can make I could easily sell a few hundred courses in the ecosystem. That's my aim right now to do so as my first wave of customers to go, hey, I'm the best seller in this business right now. One of the best in the world. Here is my complete system to get that done. All right, that's my thinking and justification behind it. So I'm anxious. I'm anxious to get it, but I'm also burnt out. And we've got Vegas coming up at the end of August. So we go to Vegas every year for the sales kickoff. And that's where I find out if I've made Club Cisco or not. But me and my manager, Rohit, my manager wants me to get to Club. It's one of his dreams to get to Club, but he never did. So he's ecstatic and over the moon that I got there under his management and his leadership. And I give Rohit a lot of credit. I do appreciate him for his efforts. He's a genuine people leader that helped me out. And I got a lot of respect for that man. I really appreciate him. And I actually, you'll see in the documentary that I shout him out a little bit as well. So, but in August, I'm fucking fried, man. I'm burnt out again 3 times in 3 years. Woo! The first burnout was just anxiety and depression from being made redundant. The second burnout was letting go of Aussie Comedy Network around that July-August timeframe. So 12 months to where I was then because I was just overworked and it's just not working for me. And then, just cooking myself, trying to get deals across the line, building a Tech Sales Academy and, just being a little bit overworked in anticipation to get top 1%. So, I'm fried for a few weeks. I just got to sit there and do nothing for a bit, which I did. But Rohit, he gives me this, he gives me a little good news along the way. He's like, mate, I am 98% sure you've got club. And I'm like, really? How do you know that? And he goes, I had to fight for you for the nomination for you to get club. And there was a bit of pushback from other parts of the business, but I backed them in. I backed you in. And if everything goes as from what I thought it was, you've got club. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this could be it, man. Look, like, I believe you. I trust you. You wouldn't lie to me. But we'll believe it when we see it. Right? And this is like mid-August. So I've got two and a half weeks. And every day I'm like, oh, I wonder if I've got top 1%. Oh, I wonder if I've got top 1%. While slowly recovering. And but this is when around this time is when I start to really get into the art of manifestation. And, the art and science of manifestation is this emotional alignment of thoughts and emotions in the emotional state of what success will feel like when you are the top 1%. When you recognize, what's it going to feel like when you get told you're 1%? What's the joy in your heart that you're going to feel when you've made it? What can you emotionally expect to feel and act like? And that's manifestation at its core. Is you need to emotionally and intellectually live in that space so your body gets accustomed to it, your mind gets accustomed to it, and the universe shifts its perspective and provides you things that are in alignment with that. And so that's what I'm getting into, conscious manifestation of my top 1%. So then it's time, and so we go to Vegas. And just before I get to Vegas, I plan a trip. So I get to go to Vegas for a few days, which is the sales kickoff. And then what I've also done is I've booked that second Perfect 10 trip, and I'm going to North Carolina. And the reason why I'm going to North Carolina in the US is because that is where the US hub for the CSAPers are. So for those early in career and those developmental sellers, those grads, that's where they are. And I want to network with them. I want to understand what they're being taught, get some more industry insight and info. In between that trip, I also chuck in a week of annual to go to Japan with my brother because I need a break, and I've bought him. We turned 21, so I bought his ticket to Japan, return trip to Japan as a 21st birthday present. So I've got some time to recover. In that time, it's feeling good, right? I fly over to Vegas. I get there. I don't get to know if I won club until I check into the event. So I get to Vegas. I go to I go into my hotel. And where am I? Was I Caesars? MGM Grand. That's where I was. And I'd been told from other people that if you've won club, you're supposed to get a really fancy hotel. You're supposed to be at, I forgot what it's called now. Maybe it's the Four Seasons, but it's supposed to be a really fancy hotel. They're supposed to like lavish you with gifts and whatnot. So I'm like, and there's supposed to be a procession. That's right. When you land, there's supposed to be a procession of people saying, "Congratulations, you won!" All that sort of stuff. So I'm on the plane, so hoping for that to happen, and I land, and there's no procession. So I'm like, okay, all right, it's not a big deal. Let me go to my hotel, and I go to the hotel. And I check in, and they're like, "Yep, here's your room, sir. Enjoy." I go into my room. It's a nice room. Not as nice as the room as I had last year. The Cosmopolitan Hotel in Vegas, very nice. I had a fucking schmick hotel the previous year. MGM Grand's a little bit older, so the hotel's not as nice. But I'm like, Okay, maybe because I got there like a day or two. I had to get there 2 days early because we had like a mastermind or some events for the data center business the day before the event officially starts. So I'm like, oh, maybe because I'm here early, I don't get all that stuff because the official event actually starts on like the Sunday and I got there on the Friday. So I'm like, all right, not a big deal. Let me go check in and get my pass and stuff. And then I'm thinking, maybe when I check in, I'll find something and get something about it. So then I go, I go to the event check-in. It's in a big convention center where the event is being held, the sales kickoff for a week. Big convention center, fucking huge. So then I go on the line, I check in, and they go, "Are you Jamil Raymond?" And I'm like, "Yes, that's me." And they go, "Congratulations, you've joined Club Cisco." And then all of these people, and then like all of the event staff are like celebrating and cheering and going, "Yeah, woo!" And I film it because I'm like, "Fuck, I've got it, baby. Let's fucking go." I'm pumped, right? I'm ecstatic. We finally did it. I'm in the top 1%. I'm officially in it, right? Fuck yes. They give me a special lanyard to celebrate. They're like, and they do this celebration, and they're like, "Congratulations, etc., etc." And then I'm like, "Great, now what?" And the event staff just go, "I don't know. We're only told to celebrate when you sign in. We're not actually employees, so we don't know the process. We're just told that if you get Club Cisco, we have to celebrate." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. So now what?" And they're like, "I don't know. We'll try and find out for you." And I'm like, "Okay." I'm ecstatic. I'm expecting more to happen, but then I just go sit in like a food court in the convention center for a bit. I take photos. I show my boss. I show my family that I fucking made it to club, and I'm over the moon. And yeah, I'm so fucking glad that I've got here after months of anxiety and deliberation and fucking just hoping and praying and manifesting and all this anxiety to get it. I'm like, fuck, this is the start of big things. We've got it, motherfucker. We've did it. 3 global top sales awards in my first full year at Cisco. Top 1% worldwide. I would soon later find out, whilst I'm in Hawaii, I am the #1 virtual seller in that business out of 2,000 sellers worldwide. We've got to the fucking top of the mountain. And it's beautiful, but also quite simplistic in nature as well. But it's the title, it's the prestige. That's what matters more than, whatever else happens in the fucking fancy hotel. Never got a fancier hotel, didn't care. Didn't really get, there was special events and stuff for the top 1%, which I'll talk about now. But there wasn't really anything fancy that happened for me. But there's a fuck ton of recognition, right? Is that, like, people aspire to get to the top 1%. You know, it's a fantasy for people that have been in Cisco for a long time, is that, only 200 people per year get into it, maybe less because it's 1% of 20,000. And I'm sure the business has significantly grown over the last few years, but not that many people get to go. So every time so the event starts to fill up as the rest of the people from around the world come in because I've come in early. And then the festivities really begin. Is that the event's on for like 3 or 4 days. I'm wearing my lanyard. People see the lanyard, they go, "Wow, congratulations, buddy. And, how amazing work." And I'm like, thank you, appreciate it. Great stuff, thank you. The rest of the broader team, the Melbourne team and the national Australian team see me and they're like, "Oh, fuck, congratulations." And then I'm getting accolades from people everywhere. And they're like, I had managers pull me up and I'm like, "Mate, I've been trying to get that fucking award for 10 years. And I'm like, "Well, this is my first year here." And they're like, fuck you. They didn't say fuck you, but part of them was just like, fucking hell, that's insane. Right. And so, what are the perks that I got during the event? Well, yeah, I had to be a good boy, of course. I couldn't go crazy in Vegas and get fucked up, which is what a lot of people do. I had to be a good boy, represent the brand well. So during the event, during the first day of the kickoff, We have a big all hands. It's in a stadium, 20,000 people. All the employees are there. 20,000 people in this arena, and as part of the kickoff, the welcome, they walk on all of the top 1% winners, the Club Cisco winners. So I get to walk in front of this stadium in front of 20,000 people, waving to them, saying hi. I've got footage of it, which is pretty amazing. Makes you feel like a real winner. During the all hands sessions, we are sitting at the front. We've also got just during the event, there's special events, little parties and soirees for the sales champions and the Club Cisco winners. What else did I get at that time? I remember there's just other little events that we could go to. And then I also remember, because I'd won so many awards and done so many deals, they had like little mini events that were for winners of certain sales competitions during the sales year that I didn't even know I had won. I was just in them and just somehow won them. So I was going to all these like 3D interactive events, which are pretty cool. So if you've seen the Sphere in Vegas, that really cool Sphere that U2 have been performing in, there was like a miniature version of that, which was like a 4D experience, and it was pretty sweet. I thought it was going to be horseshit when I first saw it, but then it turned out to be pretty fun. So yeah, I'm just winning all these swag and these prizes, little gifts and whatnot. Nothing memorable, clearly. So yeah, we have this experience. I got a private area for the finale concert where I go to. They had Sting and Katy Perry perform at our I guess end of sales kickoff party, which was pretty sweet. But yeah, I'm just like reveling in the fact that people are paying attention to me, being congratulated. This is like this. There's not much in the corporate world, in the world of corporate tech. There's not really much higher to go. You would really only go to bigger companies that would have their top 1%, their diamond clubs or president's clubs or whatever's like that. And there would only be like a handful of companies that would be putting as much effort in as Cisco does. Your Googles, your Apples, and things like that, I'm sure. But the fact that I have done this is quite a crazy achievement. It's been amazing. Can't complain. So from there, and the crazy thing about the walk-on when I was at the arena on that first day, the day that I get officially recognized and do the walk-on onto the arena is my birthday, August 28th, right? So I turned 33 years old, and on that 33rd birthday, I am walking in MGM Grand Arena in front of 20,000 colleagues from around the world, being recognized for being the best in the world at what I do. And that's fucking memorable. That is pretty damn sweet. So, yeah, you've just got to savor these moments, right? It's not about the prestige. It wasn't ever about I would have loved to have the fancy fucking hotel, don't get me wrong, but I can pay for my own fancy hotels. It's not a big deal. But yes, I have the status, I have the prestige. It cannot be taken away from me. And even now, I haven't fully capitalized on what this top 1% does for me, because it is in my LinkedIn bio. But it's because I haven't pushed on LinkedIn much, but I am getting sales on there. So I really am going to flog this brand for the next 9 months until there's a new crop of winners in a few months' time. I've got to release YouTube videos and, top 1%, blah, 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 while it's still fresh, right? So yeah, that was Vegas. And then after that, I go to Japan with my brother, have a great time with him, connect with him. We go explore Tokyo and Osaka, and I wish I spent some more time in Japan, which I probably will go back to, because Shaq, my brother, loves Japan and probably wants to live there, so I might hang out with him a bit more. Beautiful place, Japan. Amazing culture. It's what society should be, like everything's clean, people are polite, everything's orderly. Like Japan is fucking sick, man. It really, a great example of how society could be if it wasn't filled with fuckwits burning up crack dens up the road. And then after that, after my week in Japan, I go to North Carolina. And North Carolina is boring as shit. But I don't really care because I'm there for the mission. I am there to do the research, to connect with people, network with them, to do the work of Tech Sales Academy, right? Is that I want to learn what they're figuring out. I want to connect with the leaders in that business to talk about what I'm doing and why. I'm trying to recruit some of these early in career sellers to be they're my potential customers and future customers. So, I connect with them. I get to meet a guy called Dex, who is the leader of the account managers. Great dude. Totally gets what I'm doing as far as developing young talent. He's like, I'm very excited for you. Let me know what I can do to help. Right? I'm gaining allies. The vibe is the tribe, ladies and gentlemen. And this guy got the vibe. He's part of the tribe. I'm trying to help him out. He's trying to help me out. He gets what I'm doing. And that's what's been amazing, right? I've talked about the vibrational, right? The vibrations and energy. We are energy, right? And we operate on different vibrational levels. And your tribe are the people that you are on the same vibe with, and you get that feeling of connection with, right? The vibe is the tribe. So that's what I really try and sense for in people when I connect with them and get to know them, is do we have that same vibrational level? Yes, then he's going to get me a lot more. These people are going to get me in ways that you don't even have to verbalize, right? Is you get that sense of familiarity with people, right? And that's an amazing thing to have. And that's what happens is when I put myself out there into the world and I have to set the vibration, I have to set my vibe high and broadcast at a certain frequency of what I'm trying to enable for people, and they align to it, then they're part of my tribe. Right? And this is how we build, and that's who is going to be attracted to me based on the signal that I'm putting out. Right? And so it's really nice when you sense that in people and get that. So yeah, I have North Carolina. Look, it's a nice place. I went and saw a baseball game. I saw Bert Kreischer, comedian, perform in North Carolina. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm so close. I love New York. I'm only 2 hours away from New York, and it's a long trip back. And it's a long weekend where I'm going back to. Why don't I just extend my trip a couple of days and go to New York? And let's talk about some beautiful synchronicities for me going to New York, right? So I'm excited. I'm thinking about the idea. I'm like, fuck it. Why not? Like, let me just go for a couple of days. I can easily afford it. I'm top 1%. I've got money in the bank. This is my dream. Why wouldn't I want to touch this place again? I haven't been there since 2010. So I'm like, fuck it, let's go. And so when I'm booking this trip, I get a fucking fantastic deal. Fantastic deal. I get a Delta flight that's only like $200, which is not a big deal, domestic flight. But I got a flight back from New York all the way back to Melbourne for like $200 and only like 55,000 Qantas points, which is fucking dirt cheap, right? Dirt cheap. And I'm like, fucking score. And when I booked this trip, it was 11:11 at night. And I was like, the universe, baby. The universe is calling, right? Just high vibe, follow the path. High vibe, follow the path. Take the signs that you see every day and just keep going. And then, I had an amazing time in New York. It's a soul trip. I did talk about this in the pod a few weeks ago, but I went to my second Mecca, maybe my first Mecca. Ooh, probably shouldn't say that during Ramadan. The Comedy Cellar. I just got to walk around Manhattan, got a bagel, got some pizza, enjoyed Central Park, walked down Fifth Avenue. I went to Jeff Buckley's apartment, one of my largest musical inspirations, whose photo is up on the wall, his art is up on my wall. And just this possibility in my heart opened up, and I was like, you could be here, right? You could genuinely be here if you get this course right, if you if you can make this happen for yourself and make great money, you can support yourself in New York and live your fucking dream like you said you would have. Because I did a few years ago, just after I started transforming. So this would have been about 2020. I did have on my vision board New York for 1 year before I turned 35. And then I got rid of that idea, but I knew that I put it up on that board and it never really left me. And yeah, like I have to live it. I have to go there because when I was there, it just, the feeling, man, it felt like home, or it just felt like a dream, you know, being there. And I was just walking, you know, the streets of the East Village and walking through Manhattan, and I didn't really intend to do anything. I just thought, where would my heart want to go? And I just did it. And I just went through Soho, and I just walked and just took in the vibe of the place. And yeah, is it dirty and a bit scungy? Yeah, but fuck, I mean, compared to the crackdown that I'm currently living around, it's no big deal. But New York has a certain energy, man. It has a certain vibe. And I was like, I have to go. And still now, it's part of the mission now to go there. Like, I will go there before 35. I don't know if I'll spend a year there, maybe 6 months. I'm not too sure. But as I leave Melbourne in the coming months, I have to think of somewhere to settle. And then I'm just thinking, maybe if I'm making enough money, I'll just rent an apartment for 12 months, maybe 6 months in Manhattan, and just fucking live there and just live the dream for a bit, right? Just live my goddamn dream. I have to. I didn't work this hard not to live my goddamn dreams, and I'm fucking exhausted now. But still, the call and the call. It's nothing but to go and achieve and get things done. So yeah, that soul trip was amazing. I came back mid-September. And then I knew that Hawaii was coming. And then, so I was like, all right, well, I definitely need to fucking triple down on this course now and get shit done. So that's when I invested into Founder OS, which is a founder's mastermind and course creation mastermind. No, not course, Founder OS teaches you how to teach a course, but it's basically how to build systems to create a digital business as a solo entrepreneur. So I doubled down. I was like, I need to learn these systems and I need to learn how to build my own business, and let's fucking do it. And lo and behold, I did that whilst I was in Vegas, actually, because I was like, fuck, I really need to get these things underway because there's so much potential here for me. And that was end of August, I think start of September I did that. And then here I am, almost 9 months later? No, 6 months, fucking hell. 6-7 months later. And I'm already in one of the top 5 founders, one of the leading founders inside the program. So, doing well. Can't complain. And then, I think I'll leave it there for this week, folks. We'll get to the tail end. I think we're pretty much caught up to where we are, but I think I will ramp on this. Or I might, next week, I might even talk about what Tech Sales OS is in full, because it should be done by then. Or we'll talk about the last few months that I've sort of run up into this point, and about my exit strategy from Cisco. That's probably an interesting topic as well, because I knew I was going to leave at some point after Club to pursue this full time, because I just was burning out and I couldn't keep burning the candle at both ends and needed to jump off and take a risk. Anyway, speaking of burning the candle at both ends, I am pooped. And I still got to edit this goddamn thing. Oy vey! I'm lucky it's pretty easy. All right, folks, that is it for this week. Thank you for your time and attention always. Hey, check out the Tech Sales Academy newsletter. Having a lot of fun writing that thing. 2 articles a week, one on tech sales, one on personal performance. I talked about trauma and wrote it down in detail. Very useful resource, guys. Like, good. It's really fun stuff to actually get that out there. TechSales.academy pre-sale on now. You know it. I've said this every week. Fuck, I really am done. All right, guys. Thank you for your time and attention. As always, love yous all. See you next week. Bye-bye.